Right, I don't know how far behind the stream I'll be. It looks like I'm actually just right there. Like a second behind. I'm good to go. Sure. I guess we can start in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, this is Mickey Mania for the SNES. As always, task timing starts from power on. You will be seeing the PS1 version of this game later, like in 4 hours or so. But for now, the SNES run is much faster. It features a couple of glitches, unlike the PS1 version. Those two are warps and zips. Right here in the first screen, we're going to see our first warp. What happens is that the game is coded so that if there's any error in the programming, then a warp screen plays, and as you can see, we just went straight past to the second screen of the game. The developers put that as it is because of strict policies by Sega and other companies. What we do to trigger warps is overload the system by putting too many sprites on screen. I believe we do 5 on them in the SNES run, but I'm not quite sure. But here is a bit of a waiting section. We can explain zips while we're waiting here. Zips are not like warps. We don't straight up go to the next section, but we'd rather zip in the air for with a very high speed. We do that when we catch a rope and we leave the rope the next frame. That will appear in one of the next few levels. Right now, this is the first boss fight of the game. Really easy. You won't be seeing that on PS1. And it's you're not meant to do it like that, of course. You're meant to jump on some springs that come down from the cranes every once in a while, but that's way too slow. This game is divided into 6 cartoons, 6 old Mickey Mouse cartoons. This is the second one of them. This is the Mad Doctor. And coming up is the first zip. We grab on the rope and we just fly away, right to the end of the level. And we have another warp in the screen. We do it by throwing a marble at a not very precise time, and the warp just takes us to the next screen. And the first 3D level of the game would appear right here on all other versions of the game, but it's not on SNES. Instead, we have another zip right into an autoscroller. While the autoscroller is going, maybe I should explain a bit more about warps. I kinda lied by saying that they take you to the next level. What actually happens is, when there's an error, you get a screen where you just get a flashing text forwards or backwards, and if you hit, I believe, start on a frame when the screen says backwards, you go back to the start of the screen. If you hit it when it says forward, you go forward. However, forward is always the first one displayed, so just holding the button just allows us to always get a good zip, a good warp. And now, this game is actually kind of brutal. Not only are we killing literally everything, but we're also about to prepare a chemical bomb. You know, Disney style. We just mix some poison into this beaker to blow up a door. And after this door is our next boss fight, the Mad Doctor. the game was worked on by Disney animators. It's one of the first few there was. So you may notice, I don't know exactly what the TAS one looks like as far as hitboxes go, but hitboxes are something else in this. They rarely line up with what the actual models are, and so we can have some pretty funky stuff happening. This is the Japanese version that we're playing right now. There are a few differences between the USA version and the Japanese version. The Japanese version, first of all, has the zips, which I believe are not in the US version, and there are some differences in how you perform the warps. This is the third cartoon of the game, Moose Hunters, and another warp is coming up. It should be right over here. And there it is. We overload the sprites on the screen once again, and we warp to the next level, which is the Moose Chase, the first 3D level of this version. I believe this is made in Mode 7 on SNES. On Genesis they use some kind of trick involving moving sprites, while on PS1 this is actually 3D. The apples have an effect on... they make you go faster, essentially. Mickey has a hidden stamina meter that refills by eating apples, and of course the rocks make you... Now we're done with Moose Hunters and we're entering the fourth cartoon of the game. This is Lonesome Ghosts. Notice how there are two loading screens before this screen over here. That's probably to render this 3D effect. Here there's a small secret area which gives us some more. And now I believe is the first type of enemy in the game that we cannot kill, apart from the moose, the ghosts. Now the ghosts hurt us while they're not in their fade in or fade out animations, so we can pass through them as long as they are not completely appeared. Notice how the stairs turn into ramps and they make us go down. However, on SNES we're able to skip some of those animations that make you go down by jumping at a specific time. And here are some stairs which are very annoying to do fast. Pretty tight time. And the next level is Haunted Halls, where we will see some barrels. We will have to float on those barrels to be able to... On PS1 version on Easy, we can actually skip having to row on the barrels and we can just tank the water, because on Easy we take half as much. I haven't talked about the checkpoint system in the game. This is a zip that just happened. You used to not be able to do that in RTA, but now there are some setups which allow you to. Checkpoint system in the game. If you touch a rocket, that's a checkpoint. And you don't respawn at the checkpoint when you die, you actually respawn where you last touched the ground. I don't know if the TAS makes any use of that. But here is the silliest level warp right here, coming up. Just right at the start, throw a marble at the butterfly and we warp. This is the fifth cartoon of the game. This is Mickey and the Beast. Another difference that the Japanese version has to the US version is that Mickey's hitbox is larger, so he can grab stars and marbles from further away than he can on the US version. There is actually a bonus level hidden in the previous screen. That's not on SNES, but it is there on the other versions of the game. It's nice to do casually because it gives you a couple of lives and another continue, or another 2 continues, something like that. This run, especially in RTA rather than in TAS, is all about health management. You see our health meter is at the top left of the screen. We do not get pushed back, and we do not get stunned when we take damage. Rather, we get some iframes. So we can use that to go past enemies and stuff. We can't do that quite as well on the Genesis version though, because iframes are very short there for some reason. The chandeliers here are very tricky to jump off of. Notice how the TAS is just going right through them, but in RTA, especially the SNES ones, those are really hard. Notice the dagger throwing weasels. We can damage them by throwing a marble at them, and they have some iframes in which they cannot damage us, so we can just pass through them. The crossbowmen have very short iframes, so in RTA we can't really do that. In TAS, I guess we can. This is, by the way, the last cartoon of the game. This is
for a trifecta that I'm doing. So I can't do the same. I can't do the manips I did for the PvE because the manips that the way that I'm gonna do the trifecta, I'm doing this game in the middle of the trifecta, and those manips require me to sit up.
If you went for a walk, that would do near the
sit up and sit and wait for like a timer, like a minute, 2 to 3 minutes to sit up. So I'd rather just do this route, which is almost as viable as the other route. It's just a little bit risky here and there. Then have to wait that whole time to a manip that I probably can't even. Will have to execute too. So it's not like I do the waiting and everything's fixed. I still have to do all these manips that I haven't done in a while. So I figure I just kind of learn it.
3D level.
Like the most efficient, easiest way.
One of the 2 3D levels that the SNES has.
And I actually been getting
this is up the tower. And again, I believe this is rendered in mode 7. We're dodging some barrels that come down that kind of sound like metal instead, but they're wooden. We're close to the end now. There is an autoscroller coming up. At the end of the autoscroller is a section with like lots of enemies and stuff that we're gonna skip because we can just do a level warp instead. Now this autoscroller, I don't believe you can get ahead of the screen on SNES, but you can on PS1. However, it's kind of useless there because a rope that we need to take doesn't spawn. And here's the level warp. Right now this is the final boss. This is Pete, the captain of the guard. or as he is called in Mickey Mania 7, the NES bootleg of this game, he is Dong. There is nothing that we can really do to speed this up. We just need to hit him a few times with those spikes that come down from the ceiling, and then there will be a wrecking ball. I believe on SNES it's 6 hits with the spikes and 6 with the wrecking ball. Instead on PS1 it's 4 hits with each, but on PS1 there is actually something that you can do to make it faster, where you only need one less hit with the wrecking ball. Here comes the wrecking ball, and we can just hit it by jumping on the sword. Dong is indeed best boss, I agree. Alright, time is coming up. It will be when the wrecking ball hits speed for the final time. Which is not yet. I believe this is 4 hits, so 2 more and it's time. And that's time. Sadly, because this is the Japanese version, we cannot read the text, but you will be able to do so on the PS1 in like 4 hours or so. It just says something about how, Mighty Pete has been defeated and Mickey can start working on his next animated cartoon, which is coming soon. So don't forget to watch for any Mickey Mouse cartoons that are coming soon. But that's all for Mickey Mania on SNES. Stay tuned for whatever the next one is, and stay tuned in 4 hours for the PS1 version. Goodbye!